our Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wehner, the second team leader, Champions Real Estate Team. Jump on here every Wednesday and give you kind of rundown what's going on in the real estate market over the last week. And always joining me and Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage. So he kind of gives us the rundown of what's going on the mortgage side and what interest rates and what the mortgage environment is doing and what we can kind of see based on the numbers and history and stuff like that. So let's jump into the graphics that we share every week just to kind of keep it the same so everyone sees what we're going after. So over the last week, over the last 7 days, we had 274 new listings. That's down from about over 300. What are we at? Let me see my notes. I think it was 380. Let's go. Yeah, we were at 386 last week. So we're down almost 100 new units. I think obviously we had the snow that came in. I think that kind of puts a little damper on things. It's a little hard to get through a foot of snow on the showings and stuff like that. So some people may have delayed and going to get those up on the market this week yet. So new contracts written, so pending units, 268. That's very similar to what we had the previous week. So even though we are down 100 homes, new market, there's still buyers out there similar to the weeks prior. Sold homes, 275, happy new homeowners this week. So we're still seeing that buyers traffic. I think the similar thing that we saw last week, or we touched on last week, is that, you know, there's still some people still, I think, waiting on the sidelines, waiting for the weather to get nice. And the buyers are like, oh, we don't know if we're going to buy. We're thinking of buying. Well, I would get, me personally, you know, I would get out there before you get the big wave of the typical time frame when, you know, March into April into May. You know, I think that's when you get a lot of buyers out there. You get a lot of homes come on the market. You know, if you're serious about buying, even getting your house on the market, get on there before you get a lot of houses on the market and you get those serious buyers. You know, over the last couple, you know, year or so years, you know, everyone, you know, I feel like real estate agents were touting that, well, I got 10 offers, 15, 20, 30 offers. Well, it doesn't matter if they're all the same, you know, around the listing price. Get 2 offers, 3 offers potentially, you know, and get strong offers and strong buyers that are ready, willing, and able to buy your house from a seller's perspective. So you don't need to have 10, 15 offers on a house. You know, you just need one good solid one that makes sense for everybody in that regard. So looking at the 30,000 foot view here. So this is the Omaha and Lincoln MLS at 1,953 active listings. Last week we were about just over 2,000, I think 2012. Breaking that down into the Omaha metro area, Douglas, Sarpy County, we're at 1,134. Existing homes were back under that 300 mark at 283. So I think last week we were just over 300. You know, we're down. So we're seeing some houses come off the market. Our months of inventory went down a little bit. It was at 2.9, 2.7 now. So what that basically means is there's, you know, if we didn't have any more houses coming on the market, we would basically be out of houses in 2.7 months in regards to that. So new construction, 853, 851, you know, we kind of been hovering around that 850 to 900, you know, week in and week out, I think. But we're still seeing some of those houses move fairly quick with those new construction. I think there's like 200 that were under construction, just right around 250 under construction. So that leaves us with another 600 that are, you know, the spec homes that are sitting out there. So that's all price ranges out there. Average sold price is about 310. That's kind of fluctuated a little bit in regards to that. So I think, you know, keep it short and sweet. I think, you know, we're kind of similar. I think our interest rates, you know, we'll touch base with Russ, but I still think it's a great time to get out there and buy in regards to that aspect of it. I mean, there's, if you know, getting a game plan now, you know, if you're kind of in those, been, you know, tire kicking over the last, you know, couple months with interest rates and just kind of out looking at houses, open houses and things like that. I think now is the time to get a game plan together and get together with Russ, you know, and myself, and we can kind of get you on the path to home ownership, or even thinking about selling your house. Happy to meet with you. I meet with another client this coming week, getting their house ready to rock and roll and what they need to do, you know, to position themselves to be the, you know, to be the bride. You don't want to be the bridesmaid out there. That's the one thing, you want to get a ring on the finger and get that house sold. And it takes, you know, sometimes takes a little bit of elbow grease and get that house ready to rock and roll, because you don't want everyone, you price it too high, everyone's going to be comparing your house and they're buying that one that's just a little bit less, may need a little bit more, you know, updating, but they'll get that sweat equity into it too. So there's different ways and different strategies that we have when we're listing houses, obviously when we're buying houses. So Russ, how we doing? And how's things going in the mortgage industry?
You know, it's interesting. We're still seeing a lot of multi-offer situations, Mark, especially at the lower price points, under 350, let's just say, in that range. And interest rates have moved up a little bit. And what we saw last year around, I guess would have been September, October, when interest rates started to move up a little bit, is there was a little bit less competition, which we've talked about, Mark. As interest rates rise, your borrowing power goes down, and that can be discouraging to some folks, and they can go to the sidelines. So in the event that you've been looking for a home, get out there now, because as we go out through the remainder of the year, we do expect that we will continue to see a very active real estate market. And as interest rates drop, that's going to pull more people off the sidelines. So as we've talked about, Mark, marry the house, date the rate. We do again expect to see some improvement in rates as we go throughout the year, but that's going to probably increase the amount of demand that's out there. Interest rates generally are somewhere in the range of where they were in September, October of last year, which again is up a little bit from where they were even 30 days ago. But we've talked about this, that a significant reason for that is that the non-farm payroll report, commonly called the jobs report, came in very hot for the month of January. And part of the reason for that is the way that they do the calculation. They roll a lot of the algorithm into the month of January, and so January is a spiked month, and it's really not a great representation of what the real jobs report was. The next jobs report's coming out on the 10th of March, and if that's more in line with what we think it is, that might bring rates back down a little bit. But the point is, you have an opportunity now. Get out there and buy a house.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, and then you talk about, when you talk about interest rates, it's such, it's kind of like, it's like the hot button item, but I don't think that should be the determining factor whether you're going to buy a house, because you can always refinance that rate down the road potentially, that get that house now, which is, we've seen appreciation. I mean, I think we might not see as great of appreciation as we did in houses and prices, but get it now before that house appreciates, and lock in that price, that price now, and you can fiddle around with the interest rates later for all intents and purposes. So,
absolutely.
But as always, we're always here to help you here at Champions Real Estate Team, and Williams Mortgage are a great partnership with them to work together and get the buyers and sellers get those houses moving. So, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either one of us. My number is 402-672-7670. Or reach out to Russ Williams at Williams Mortgage, 290-8936. And we appreciate everyone listening. If you have any questions, reach out to us, comment, like us, post us, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff every other social media person says out there. But we're just here to provide good information for you. And if there's other topics that you want us to cover, happy to do so. Just shoot us a message, like I said, and we'll get it covered, or meet with you individually, or however we can help. So thank you very much. And we'll see you guys next week.